Welcome to season 3 of the Venue Success podcast, where every episode this season is a quick, actionable tip from Tirzah to help you elevate your venue. Since tomorrow is Christmas, I thought it would be very fitting to do a bit of a Christmas episode. And so I want to share with you one of the things that we started, I guess it was about 5 or 6 years ago at our venue to celebrate the holiday season. So before I get into that, I just want to say to you, since this is our last episode of 2025, I just wanted to extend a huge thank you to all of the watchers and listeners out there. I never in my wildest dreams thought that the Venue Success podcast would be as successful as it is. It's funny to me because when I go to conferences and things like that, and I'm talking to so many of you, the podcast is usually the very first thing that people bring up. I remember last year I was at my booth and some lady came running up to me and gave me this huge hug and she's like, "I'm your biggest fan." And I just still get tickled about that because I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that it's been helpful to so many of you. And this past season, season 2, really got longer than I ever expected it to. And it's interesting to me as well as so many of really incredible industry leaders reaching out to me saying that they wanted to be on the podcast. I mean, that was so humbling. So again, I could not start this episode or end this season, this year without telling you thank you. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, but I hope that you have a wonderful Christmas and New Year celebration. Okay, so this Christmas event that we had, there's really one main reason why I started it, and it's so incredibly important to me as a business owner to build deep relationships with my customers. And of course, you have to have great boundaries around all of that, but you really got to the point, and I hope that it gets to this for you as newer businesses as well. If you're listening and you're less than 5 years in, being as established as we were in the Charlotte community, our word of mouth referrals were our most important marketing tool. And so we knew that creating an event like this would only deepen the connection that we had with our communities and our past clients. And so that was really why we started it, because we had people that we would say goodbye to and we were like, oh my gosh, feels so sad. We may never see you again. And so having an annual event was something that honestly, it just came to me. I don't even know when or how that it came to me, but I was like, we need to start some traditions here at our business because I am someone that loves tradition. There are things that we do with my kids that are so very dear to me that we do every single year. And so I wanted to kind of bring that into my business. And that's really why we started it. And so it wasn't necessarily me trying to gain something from it, but to have something a bit sentimental, if that makes sense. So let me explain kind of how we handled our Christmas event. I have to just say this from the very beginning. I'm going to share with you how we did it, but I don't think that you should start where we ended, right? So a lot of you know that we sold our venue this past year. So this will actually be my first year not managing this event, which is a bit sad for me. But when we first started, it was not as elaborate as where it ended. And so just know that it takes some time to refine this event and, and get it to be just how you want it to be. So let me just explain a little bit more of kind of some of the important elements that we had at our event. Now, we were advertising on local news channels, Facebook groups, anywhere where there was like Christmas events that you could market. We were doing that. All of our vendors were sharing with their clients and their networks and things like that. We always posted it in Eventbrite because I know people were always looking for holiday things to do that were free. So that was really important to us to always make this a free event for our community. And so we would have vendors. And one of the things that was very important to me is that all of the vendors kind of had a Christmas focus. And many of them were still wedding vendors. So for example, our baker would come in and instead of having cake tastings, maybe she's selling beautifully decorated Christmas cookies that people can buy and take home, right? But it's still our in-house baker that our clients or even past clients could see and interact with that person that they have grown to have a great relationship with them. The same is true for all of our vendors, right? So we would plug them into strategic places. So if our florist made beautiful arrangements for all the cocktail tables at the bar, we would have, a little plaque in front of it, just making sure that people knew, oh, this is their in-house florist, yada, yada. We had live music. We had Santa Claus. And one of the ways that we integrated Santa is that we had free family photos with Santa, but those pictures were done by, you guessed it, our in-house photographer. And it was another way for them to kind of get to know her a little bit. And there always would tend to be a really long line for Santa, of course. And so the person that was organizing the line and kind of interacting with people as they were waiting was our in-house officiant. So again, we didn't want it to feel like a traditional open house, but we were taking these people and plugging them strategically in places where they could interact with current and past clients. We also have this big, beautiful, decked out Christmas tree. I mean, oh my goodness, we spent so much money over the years, like getting that tree better and better. The decorations were just super over the top. I actually ended up starting to pay someone to decorate that tree for me. But we would have Christmas ornaments that were different each year so people could come back and have different years of, maybe one ornament is the house, one ornament is the barn, one is the garden, like things like that, which is super fun. We would always have the fire pit going. We'd have s'mores packets that people could buy at the bar, which was fun. Again, like we had carriage rides, just trying to leaning into some of that more old school, early 1900s vibe. That was always a fan favorite for sure. And another thing that I always wanted to be a huge part of our public event was that we wanted to focus on different charities. And so we would partner with nonprofits and, maybe one year we're collecting blankets and coats. Another year it's non-perishables for a food pantry, things like that. And I always feel like this time of year is a great time. People tend to be a little bit more generous in terms of those things. And so we always wanted to partner with someone very strategically about that was a local nonprofit. So, of course, there's so much more that I could tell you about that event. And I will be very honest with you, planning these big public events is a lot of work. It really is. And in the beginning, we didn't have a good system. And we finally had gotten to the point where we really had this event dialed in. But like I said, this is my first year not planning it, and I'm a bit sad. And what is so interesting about it is that this event really became my favorite event of the whole year at our venue. And that's why I wanted to share this with you, because I think there's a lot of venues that don't have a way to continue that relationship with their past clients. And again, they are your best marketing tool. So if you're able to keep staying connected with these people that are your ideal client age, who have friends that are getting married and all of that, it's such an important strategic way to stay connected with them. But even apart from all of the marketing and sales stuff, how cool is it to have a sentimental, traditional event that people could come back to year after year? I remember the first year we did it, there was one of our past couples came and they were expecting. And then the next year, of course, they brought their baby. And then the next year, I think last year they had 2 kids that they brought back. And I just was like, man, this is so cool. And every year they have a picture with Santa, and they loved it. And then one of the ladies told me that it was the most looked forward to event in their family at the holidays. And I love that. So anyway, I hope this sparks something in you to potentially do this next year. And the other thing that I would say just in closing is we would always plug our Christmas event throughout the process so that they knew. So for instance, we're having a final meeting with them maybe in September or something, and we're like, oh my gosh, like this isn't going to be goodbye. We'll be able to see you at the Christmas event in December. And we would always have these little popcorn conversations with people where we would let them know, like, this isn't goodbye forever, and we'll see you at the Christmas event. And again, like the first year we did it, there was only 40 people, I think, that showed up. And this past year, in 2024, when we did it, it was over 350 people. It was so magical. It was beyond my wildest dreams, to be honest. I really encourage you to start an event like this at your venue, having some type of tradition where your past clients could come back, where the community can be involved, where your personal friends and family could come and see your beautiful venue in action. I just think it's such a smart and fun way to celebrate the season. Again, if you are enjoying the Venue Success podcast, one of the things that is crucial and just super important for people that run podcasts is if you make sure to pop over and like and subscribe to our channel over on YouTube and wherever you consume your content for podcasts, be sure to leave me a review there as well. That would be the best Christmas present. So anyway, Merry Christmas, my friends. We'll see you next time.